day, ladies and gentlemen. I am Nicole Araña from BSTM 1104. Today, we are going to discuss about the difference between a hazard and a risk and how are we going to eliminate the hazard and risk for the hospitality industry.
Hello, I am Angela.
I am just wondering, what is the difference between a hazard and a risk?
A lot of the time, hazard and risk are frequently used as the same thing. However, they are not. So, what is a hazard? Hazard is anything with a potential to cause harm or danger. It is anything that poses a threat to health, life, property, or the environment. And what is a risk? Risk refers to the possibility that harm or injury might occur when exposed to hazard. It is the chance that the hazard will actually cause harm. Risk, on the other hand, is the likelihood of harm in defined circumstances. Spilled water or water on the floor is a hazard, but when a person is walking on the spilled water, it becomes a risk. A shark is a hazard because there's no person involved. And when there's a person involved and swimming with the sharks, it becomes a risk. Ladders are a hazard. Falling down the ladders is a risk. Driving on the road is a hazard. Driving while texting is a risk. You are putting your life in danger. A raging cloudy thunderstorm is a hazard, but if a person goes in the open area, there is a possibility that the person will get struck by a lightning. Now that we know the difference between a hazard and a risk, let us proceed to the hospitality industry. The hospitality industry has perhaps one of the largest job descriptions in business, including the responsibility to keep staff and guests safe. What is OSH? OSH, or Occupational Safety and Health, is increasingly recognized by governments and international organizations as an important part of public health. Occupational safety hazards are natural risks present in certain workplaces. Millions of workers are at risk from exposure to physical hazard, biological hazard, chemical hazard, and psychosocial hazard, or combination. Physical hazard are a common source of injuries in many industries. A physical hazard is an agent, factor, or circumstances that can cause harm when contact. Biological hazards, also known as biohazards, refers to biological substances that pose a threat to the health of living organisms, primarily humans. Chemical hazard is a type of occupational hazard caused by exposure to chemicals in the workplace. Both biological and chemical hazards are substances used at work that is potentially hazardous to health. Psychosocial hazard is an occupational hazard that affects the psychosocial and physical well-being of workers, including their ability to participate in a work environment among other people. We will now identify the common hazard and risks in the hospitality industry. Several hazards can be found in the hospitality industry, but I only choose the 6 most common hazards: the slip, trips, and falls, burns, scalds, and cuts, hazardous chemicals, confined spaces, manual handling, and machinery and equipment. Slips, trips, and falls. It is the most common cause of injuries in the workplace. Slips occurs when there is too little friction or traction between your footwear and the surface of the floor. Wet or oily surfaces is one of the common causes of slips. Trips. A trip occurs when a person's foot contacts an object on their way or drops to a lower level unexpectedly. causing them to be thrown off balance. A fall occurs when you are too far off balance. Burns, scalds, and cuts. Burns, scalds, and cuts is one of the most common injuries happen in the kitchen. Burns. A burn is caused by dry heat such as iron and fire. Scalds. A scald is caused by something wet such as hot water or steam. Both scalds and burns are damage to the skin caused by heat. Cuts. A laceration is a cut in the skin usually caused by a sharp object. Hazardous chemicals are substances, mixtures, and articles that can pose significant risk to health. Any chemical in either gas, liquid, or solid form that has the potential to cause harm is referred to as hazardous chemicals. Examples of hazardous chemicals: solvents, fumes, petroleum, cleaning agents, fire, conflagration, and explosion. Confined spaces. A confined space is an area with small openings for workers to enter and exit and is not designed for regular work. Workers can become unconscious and die from lack of oxygen. There may be too much oxygen or other chemicals that can catch fire or explode. Confined spaces can also pose physical hazards. They can be very hot or cold, very loud, or slippery and wet. Manual handling. Manual handling of loads. Manual material handling involves the body to lift, lower, fill, empty, or carry loads. Manual handling can be animate or a person or animal, and inanimate an object. Manual handling injuries occur in many areas of the body: sprain or strain, sore elbow, sore wrist, sore neck and shoulders, and poor posture. Machinery and equipment. Hazards associated with working near or on machinery vary depending on the exact machine used but can include exposure to moving parts. Machinery and equipment can cause injuries in different ways. You can get parts of your body caught in or struck by exposed moving parts of the machine, or you can be struck by flying objects from machine without protecting guards. There are many ways to reduce, prevent, and eliminate the hazard and risk in the hospitality industry. Hazard prevention and control. Effective controls protect workers from workplace hazards, helps avoid injuries, illnesses, and incidents, minimize or eliminate safety and health risks, and help employers provide workers with safe and healthful working conditions. The National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, or NIOSH, hierarchy of control, the elimination, substitution, engineering controls, administrative controls, and PPE. NIOSH is responsible for conducting research and making recommendations for the prevention of work-related injuries and illnesses. Eliminate. Elimination is the process of removing the hazards from the workplace. It is the most effective way to control all risks because the hazard is no longer present. It is the most preferred way to control a hazard and should be used whenever possible. Substitution. Substitution occurs when a new chemical or substance that is less hazardous is used instead of another chemical. It is sometimes grouped with elimination because, in effect, you are removing the first substance or hazards from the workplace. The goal, obviously, is to choose a new chemical that is less hazardous than the original. Engineering controls. Engineering controls are methods that are built into the design of a plant, equipment, or process to minimize their hazard. Engineering controls are a very reliable way to control worker exposure as long as the controls are designed, used, and maintained properly. Administrative control. Administrative controls limits workers' exposures by scheduling shorter work times in contaminant areas or by implementing other rules. These control measures have many limitations because the hazard itself is not actually removed or reduced. The last one is PPE. Personal protective equipment is clothing and equipment worn by employees, students, contractors, or visitors to protect or shield their bodies from workplace hazards. Personal protective equipment includes items such as respirators, protective clothing such as gloves, face shields, eye protection, and footwear that serves to provide a barrier between a wearer and a chemical or material. You can't eliminate every hazard, but the closer you can get to the top, the closer you can reach the ideal and make people healthier and safer. By Jonathan Bach, Director of NIOSH Prevention Through Design Initiative.
That is the end of our video, and I hope that you learned something, and always remember that safety is the top priority.